Okay, so we're going to go over the warm-up. I do not have the warm-up up here, obviously, because my something happened with the conversion through Google Docs, so it's listed as a temp file and not as a regular Active Inspire file, and it will not open. So I just need to reproduce it up here. So we have 2 plus 3 times 7. So this is just a review of order of operations. We will be thinking about order of operations a little bit today and what we do. So this will help you guys remember, resurrect a little bit of that knowledge. Volunteers, tell me how you did this one. Michaela.
I did 3 plus 5 because it's in parentheses.
You mean 3 plus 2. Now you're getting like me. Okay, so you did parentheses first, and on your sheet we do have the PEMDAS, which means we always do what's in parentheses first. So 2 plus 3 is 5, and then you just bring everything else down. 35, good. When you're doing problems using order of operations, you're always funneling it down to a correct answer, doing one step at a time until you get to an end. Okay, the next problem is 2 plus 3 times 7. Looks very similar to the first problem. Volunteer to tell me how to do this one. Dakota?
Okay, so I did 7 times 3.
Okay, why did you do 7 times 3?
Because there's no parentheses or exponents in 5.
Good, good. We always do multiplication and division before we do addition and subtraction. You can add parentheses if you want as you're thinking through the problem before you start. Okay, so 3 times 7 is 21, and 21 plus 2 is 23. I don't know if any of you are on Facebook. Technically, you're not supposed to be on Facebook till you're 13, but I know those rules get bent sometimes. But if you ever do, or you look at your parents' Facebook, a lot of times they have these order of operations problems as people's posts, you know, and they're like, what's the correct answer? And it's always very divided because a lot of people really don't remember order of operations and do not do it correctly. So this will serve you well. Someday on Facebook you can solve all of the order of operations problems. All right, number 3, that's a good real world example of how you would use order of operations. Minus 5 plus 2 times 4. Okay, volunteer to tell me how to do this one. Eve.
First, I did 2 times 4, like I wrote everything back.
Okay, so you did the 2 times 4. Did you do anything else that step?
And I did 9 divided by 6.
Okay, good. So again, we want to multiply and divide before we add and subtract. So I'm just going to put those in parentheses so it's clear what we're doing. So we bring down the 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3 minus 5 plus 8. Okay, now what? Eve?
3 plus 3 and 5 plus 8.
Okay, so you did 3 plus 3 and 5 plus 8. Let's see. If, when you're doing addition and subtraction, you should go from left to right, doing everything in order. So you don't want to put the 5 plus 8 together. Addition, it appears from PEMDAS that addition and subtraction go in a specific order. They actually don't. If we were to look at PEMDAS, it should be more like, well, let me write it over here. P-E-M-D-A-S, because addition and subtraction need to go from left to right regardless of whether it's addition or subtraction first. So let me show you how your answer might be different if you did it that way. So if we go from left to right, 3 plus 3 is 6. I'm just going to bring down each step. So 6 minus 5 plus 8. 6 minus 5 is 1 plus 8 is 9. Now, if you did it by adding first and then going around and subtracting, you would have 6 minus 13, which would be a negative 7. So you wouldn't end up with the same answer. Now, if you were to rewrite this all as addition, so you rewrote this as 3 plus negative 5 plus 8, then you could add in any order and it would be okay. Because addition is commutative, but subtraction is not commutative. So subtraction, you do have to do in order. Same thing holds true for multiplication and division. You multiply and divide from left to right, going in order. Multiplication is not more important than division. They're on the same level. Okay, any questions about this? Okay, I'm going to pause the video for a second so we can go over homework. So today's lesson is multiplying and dividing integers part 2. This actually is not an incredibly difficult lesson, so we should move through it fairly quickly. The homework for this lesson is all on Get More Math today. The questions that we're answering are what happens when I multiply more than 2 integers, and also how can I use order of operations to solve problems involving integers. So our first page is multiplying more than 2 integers, and we have in parentheses 4, -3, and 4. When you have numbers inside the parentheses like this, right next to each other, it always means to multiply. So we use parentheses a lot when we were doing addition and subtraction, but if there's no sign in between the parentheses, then we know that we should multiply. When you multiply, you just want to go from left to right using order of operations. We always multiply from left to right. Although you could rearrange because multiplication is commutative, but it's easier if you kind of follow the same pattern every time. 4 times -3 would be -12. And -12 times 4 is -48. So the only tricky thing really is keeping track of your negative signs. Okay, let's do the next one. -2 times -5 times 6. Braden, can you tell me how we would do that one?
We'll start off with parentheses, but since it's trying to figure out which one we're doing first.
Just go from left to right because it's all multiplication. Okay, so yeah, do this times this would give you, what would it give you? 10, positive 10. Because if you multiply the same signs, the answer is positive. Times 6, 60. Okay, good. The next one, we have -3 times -4 times -5. Katie, can you tell me how we would do this one?
We do -3 times -4 and get 12.
Okay.
And multiply it by -5 and get -60.
Okay, good. Any questions about this so far? Okay, the next column of problems I would like you to try. And you can also look at the problems in the Think About It section. And we'll be talking about that in just a second. All right, hopefully we're all good here. Ailey, can you tell me how you would do the first one?
First one, I did -2 times 8 and got 16 plus times 2.
You got positive 16?
Negative
16, good.
And then I multiplied that and got
Good. -32. Dakota, next one.
I did -4 times 5
Uh-huh.
and -1.
Good.
And then -1 times -4 gave me 80.
Good. Okay, and last one, Devin.
7 times 1 is 7. It's -7 times -7 is 1.
Okay.
Times 8 equals 56.
Okay. Good. All right, then in the Think About It section, for the first one.
It's negative 8. It's not 8, it's negative 56.
Oh, sorry, I didn't have mine right at the top. Copied it wrong. There we go, thank you. Okay, in the Think About It section, if we multiply negative times negative times positive, Irene, what's our answer going to be?
Positive.
Positive. Going across to the next one, so I'm not going down, I'm going across to negative times positive times negative times positive. Carly, what would? Well, if we do negative times positive, let's put this one up. Negative times positive times negative times positive. If I multiply the first, a negative times a positive, I'd get negative. So now I have negative times negative times positive. If I do negative times negative, I get positive. And positive times positive is positive. So that one should be positive. Okay, the next one, if I do negative times a negative times a negative, read, what will I get?
Negative.
Good, we'll get negative. Next one, Eli, if I do 4 negatives in a row, what do I get? Positive, good. And the last one, Jake, if I multiply 5 negatives in a row, what do I get?
Negative.
It would be negative. Can anyone think of what a general rule might be for how many you have? Jimmy? Okay, go ahead.
Every five, how many negatives there are, it's going to be on. I can actually say what I was thinking. If it's even, it's positive. If it's odd, it's negative.
Excellent. So if we have an even number of negatives, you're going to have a positive answer. If you have an odd number of negatives, you're going to have a negative answer. Because when we have an even number of negatives, the negatives all cancel each other out. Because anytime we multiply 2 negatives, we get a positive answer. So you can write that down as your general rule that even numbers of negatives make the answer positive, and odd numbers, I'll write that up here too, even numbers of negatives result in a positive answer, and odd numbers of negatives result in a negative answer. Okay, moving on to order of operations. So when we are using order of operations with negative numbers, we have to be really careful to apply all of our order of operations rules, our PEMDAS, and then also to think about our integer rules. So number 1, I have negative 10 plus 7 times negative 4. I'm going to multiply before I do addition. So I'm just going to put an extra parenthesis here just to keep track in my mind what I'm doing. I'm going to do 7 times negative 4. So I end up with negative 10 plus negative 28, because positive times negative would be negative, resulting in an answer. I have same signs. I'm going to add and keep the sign. I get an answer of negative 38. Do I have any volunteers who would like to talk me through the process for number 2? Irene, go ahead.
So I did negative 24 divided by 8 was what I did first, and I got 3. So 3 plus 4, or negative 3, I mean, minus negative 3.
Minus negative 3. Okay? Then what did you do?
I did 3 plus 4 equals 7, and because the first one.
Okay.
And then I changed the symbols of that in the same step, so it's 7 plus 3.
Okay, 7 plus 3. Okay,
and then
good.
I got 10.
10. Good. Now you could also have changed the minus a negative 2 addition from the beginning, and you would have resulted in the same answer. So that's another way you could have done it. Let me actually show that way as well. So I'm just going to erase this because I think it's easiest to do it that way. Okay, so if I start with the original problem, if I wanted to, I could change this right from the beginning. So I could make this be 3 plus 4 plus 24 divided by 8. Then I would do the 24 divided by 8, and I get 3 plus 4 plus 3. 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 3 is 10. So you still get an answer of 10. So either way that you did it would work out the same for this one. Okay, would anybody like to take a stab at number 3? Go ahead, Adrian.
So I put parentheses around 9 and -3.
Okay.
Do first, and then I changed the two negatives to a positive, and like the same stuff.
Okay, now, let's see. This would work to do that here. Okay, let's try that. I'm not sure that's gonna work. Okay.
Okay, so then I did the 9, or yeah.
So-
Then I did those.
So you did this over here.
Yeah.
So okay. So you did 9 times -3.
Is -27.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, and then parentheses, 80 divided by -10.
Okay.
Then I got -27 plus -3. And
Which
then
is?
I got an answer of -36.
-36. What's 8 plus 7?
Oh, I put 28 for some reason. 30.
Oh, okay. So -35
Yeah.
instead of -36. Yes, and it would work if you, it did work to change the sign. For some reason, all of a sudden I thought that might not work for that problem, but it does. Okay, I would like you guys to try 4, 5, and 6 on your own. I'm going to walk around and see what kind of answers you come up with. The recording again. All right, number 4, Jake. Jake. Jake.
Yes.
Number 4, what did you get for an answer?
-18.
Good, -18 is correct. Can you tell us what you did to arrive at that answer?
I broke it up in, so I started, wrote it as 3 minus -7.
3 minus -7?
You can't do that.
What do you mean?
You can't
Because
do
like
it.
it's 3, like, so I did 7 divided by -1.
Okay, so you didn't change this sign, you just brought it down?
Yeah.
Okay, so you did 3 minus, and then you did 7 divided by -1?
You got -7.
Okay, okay, I'm okay with what you did there. You got -7, and then what did you do with the -3?
So I just brought it.
Brought it down, okay. Okay, then what did you do?
I multiplied -7 times -3 and got 21.
Okay, so you got 3 minus 21, okay, and then?
And then 3 minus 21 equals -18.
Good. Okay, any questions about that one? Is there anyone who did it a different way, thought you were going to get the right answer and got the wrong answer and need to check to see why? Eve?
Oh, I got the wrong answer.
Okay, you got the wrong answer. Do you know why? Do you know what you did wrong?
Yeah, I did, I multiplied -1 and -3 first.
That's really tempting to do because when they're in parentheses like that, you want to multiply them because they're right next to each other, but you have to do multiplication and division all as a unit from left to right. Okay. Adria?
I did the parentheses and I put it around -7 and like took the subtraction sign with it
Mm-hmm.
and made -7, so then I ended up multiplying instead of subtracting at the end. I don't know how.
So you would have
I
done,
got, like,
so
negative
what you're
6.
saying, you did -7 divided by -1, which would be 7, and 7 times -3 would be -21, but what you should have done is 3 plus -21.
Yeah.
So you can change it to 3 plus a -7, and then you would still have a sign in between it, it wouldn't be multiplication. Okay, any other questions about that one? Okay, number 5, Elena,
I did the first step.
tell me what you got first.
Oh, I got -1.
Okay, good, that's correct, okay?
-3 times, well, first I changed -3 times 4.
Okay, so you did this first,
Yeah.
okay?
Well, no, I mean, that's my second step. I wrote out -3.
Oh, okay, you wrote out
Yeah.
-3 times 4,
And then minus negative 2 because I did negative 12 divided by 6.
Okay, so this is the first
Yeah.
thing that you did. Okay, so you did minus and negative 2, okay? You could also have done the negative 3 times 4 in that step, since it's also multiplication.
Yeah, and then I got negative 12 minus negative 2 is negative.
Okay, negative 10 because it's negative 12 plus 2. You also could have changed your minus and negative from the beginning. Are there any questions about that one? Anyone who went wrong and you don't know how you went wrong? Okay, let's take a look at number 6 then. Jimmy, what did you get as an answer for number 6? Nope, correct answer is not 1. Anybody have a different answer, Eli? Negative 3, okay? That's the correct answer. Eli, can you tell me what you did to get that answer? Did you not write down your work?
No, I did. I don't even know what I did.
Okay, well just read to me your second step. And we'll figure out what you did.
Negative 7 divided by 14 plus 1.
Okay, so if you did negative 7 divided by 14, you wouldn't have gotten an answer of negative 3 because negative 7 divided by 14 would be negative 1/2 plus negative 1 would actually be negative 1/2. Now, when you multiply or divide, Eli, you have to go from left to right. So you have to do negative 7 divided by 7 before you do 7 times 2 because you won't get the same answer. You would if it was all multiplication because multiplication is commutative, but division is not, or associative also. I guess that's what I'm talking about, associative. You can't multiply the 7 times 2 first. You will get a different answer. So you have to go from left to right. Anybody who got negative 3 who went from left to right? Devin?
Negative 7 divided by, well, I put parentheses around negative 7 and 7.
Okay.
Negative 7 divided by 7 equals negative 1.
Okay.
Negative, and then, just.
Bring that down.
everything down.
Okay.
And negative 1 times 2 equals negative 2 plus negative 1. And then negative 2 plus 1 is 3. Negative 3.
Negative 3. Negative 2 plus negative 1, same signs. Add and keep. Okay? So if you did the 7 times 2 first, again, you'd end up with negative 1/2 plus negative 1, which would be negative 1/2. Okay. Any questions before we do the exit ticket? Okay, there's no paper homework for this lesson. This is all on Get More Math, so I'm not going to pass out any homework. The exit ticket is on Canvas. I just put it on, so hopefully it's easy to find. Under quizzes, it's exit ticket 11.